time, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you for having me, man. I mean, I know I reached out to you a couple of times. I know you've been a little bit busy, but I just figured that, you know what, this is a great opportunity because, just watching your platform and understanding your mission, I felt that this would be a great opportunity to really get some people, especially that's taking the boot camps into the industry, and especially getting with a company that's going to give them some equity, give them some money, and also just get them that start that they need. And if they want to go pivot somewhere else, or they see that, hey, this is a great company, cultural fit, they can go into leadership. It's a fast growing company, man. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, any questions you got to ask me, about my background, how I got into it, go ahead.
Yeah, man, so first off, bro, first we just love for you to just introduce yourself to the people, like tell people just who you are, just a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, yeah, a little bit about me. My name is Jack Chapman. Originally from New York, but I lived in Atlanta for quite some time. My background, I would say, honestly, man, I was an entrepreneur. I started off in photography. I was doing really well with it. I actually have a little bit of similar story to Cyrus, man. I was driving Uber all throughout Atlanta, paying for college. I was working like 7 days a week. My time was from 6 o'clock in the morning to 11, paying out of pocket of college because I didn't want to take out any student loans. And after that, I knew that I wanted to own my own business, but I needed a vehicle. And one of the things that I realized is when it came to networking, when it came to getting opportunities and building the right relationship, that was great. But if you're a business owner, you always run into that problem where it's like, damn, man, I just need more money to fund this. And you're thinking that these little gig economy stuff is going to help you through. But when you do the math ain't mathing. So, I got into, photography, tried that, was doing that for quite some time. I wanted to do something a little bit more stable. So I pivoted over into real estate, got my real estate license. It took me 7 times before I passed the test. And the funny thing is, after that, I saved up about $7,000. One thing they don't tell you about real estate is, I always tell people if they're looking to get their license, save at least a year worth of savings. I only had about 6 months, and I went with the wrong broker. Wasn't a good fit. Blew through that, and it was very hard for me to manage both, even when I was able to get listings. So, to make a long story short, I actually was doing a photo shoot for a guy, and he just relocated from Miami to Georgia. He worked for IBM, and this guy's name was Spencer, right? And at the time, I just got my license, so I'm like, I'm not thinking about tech. I want to focus on one thing, and then if things don't pan out, then I'll see what's up, right? This guy had a Rolex on. He was young. He was like, I'm just taking photos, man. And man, we didn't even get to the point, like, we always had to reschedule the photo shoot. He's like, don't even worry about it. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna just take some photos and send it to you. He's like, bet. I saw his apartment he was staying at. He was staying at the Camdens and the Buckhead. And you know what those are, like right around from the Buckhead bars. I was like,
yeah.
Shit. Yo, what's going on? Yeah. And I lived in Midtown, so I lived in Atlantic Station. So the funny thing, exactly, and intentionally, I actually wanted to live in that area because I knew it was a growing area, and me being in real estate, I lived in a specific apartment that most of the guys that worked there worked at Microsoft, Google, and Salesforce, and a lot of them were like, yo, Jack, you're really good at sales.
Sorry, Jack, can I pause you real quick, Jack?
Yeah.
Everybody, I see a lot of questions popping up in the comment section. We are not going to be able to answer these questions right now. If you want your question answered, put it in the question box. That's why Instagram made a question box, so that way your question won't get missed. So don't put it in the comment section because we're not going to scroll up. It's gonna be in the question box. So again, y'all, I see a few different people posting it. Yes, his company is Kaseya. But we're going to talk about not just the company, but talk about like what he suggests that you do that you can stand out as a candidate. Because again, I don't encourage people just like randomly, just blindly applying to a company. Get as much insight as you can from this conversation, from his story, what he's doing, because you don't want to just be like, oh man, let me go and apply real quick. And you're not like taking into account what he's sharing. And then you end up not getting a job when they're doing such mass hiring right now. So don't play yourself. Take advantage of this conversation, of his story, of the information. This really will be impactful. Make sure you're putting your questions again in the question box. My bad, Jack. You can go ahead, bro.
Yeah, man. And so, man, where was I?
Hey, yeah.
But yeah,
you're
so
sharing how
basically,
you said you were
yeah,
living in Midtown. He was living in Buckhead, Kansas, and you were like really inspired, realizing like, yo, he getting some
yeah, and
back.
then yeah, most of my friends, they work for IBM, Microsoft, vice versa. So after about a year doing the real estate and realizing that I got an opportunity, and when you're doing these gig economy jobs like Uber, you know, DoorDash, whatever, and you're working like a career like real estate, which is a full-time career in itself, where you're growing your business, sometimes you have to subject yourself to getting these little low-paying jobs because you're thinking that it gives you the flexibility to grow that.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
what people
reality
think.
is,
That's true.
God forbid your car breaks down, which I blew out my engine twice. God forbid, the people start laying off. Now, that's exactly what happened. I was able to get at least 12 potential listings ranging between 550K to like 1.2 million. And it got to the point where I wasn't, because I lost my job, I couldn't facilitate those deals. I had to refer them out to other, people that I was working with, and those people wanted to do business with me. One of the things I would say too, I see that you do coaching. Always invest in yourself, because part of the reason I was able to get a lot of these opportunities is I always was big on paying. If I didn't go to school for it, I always was a student. I would find free audiobooks on YouTube. Not Think and Grow Rich. Power in Winning Friends and Influencing Others.
Oh
That
yeah.
job alone, when I was doing Uber, got me offers when I was running my own business where the base was like 70K. But I turned those down because I'm like, listen, I didn't want nobody to take me off my game. I was focused. Should have probably took those. But always be educating yourself. Always stay a student. I would say that. And yeah, so what I did is when I realized that, I started doing research. So I wanted to shout somebody out, Black Heights. I paid him for coaching because I said, listen, you're familiar with Black Heights, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar with him, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a really good YouTube guy, talks about, account executives and breaking into tech. I came across his page and he was doing coaching sessions. So I paid him about, some good money because I wanted to make sure if I was going to make the pivot that I knew everything, what I was getting into. And that's one thing I would say. If you guys are in a different industry, trucking, real estate, make sure you hire or you pay somebody like Cyrus for their time, or Black Heights, or, somebody that's made it and is living the life that you want. Pay them for their time, get as much information as you can, do the research, and invest in yourself, because once you get successful and you take these boot camps and you follow that, you're going to have your own level of success that you have that you'll be able to share, and also possibly people are going to want to hire you for your time because now you have a level of success. So take advantage of that. And that's exactly what I did. So after doing, paying a few people and realizing that, okay, I need to make a change, I did all 3 boot camps. So I'm gonna tell you. I started off with
3. I only knew about 2. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
no,
All
I did 3.
What all did you
I'm gonna
do?
tell you how to though. The first one I did was Course Careers because I had sales experience, but I wanted to know specifically what is different and what skills I have is relatable to that I can apply, right? So I did Course Careers.
Yo, for everybody who is listening and you're thinking that you're interested in a career in tech sales, I suggest you check out Course Careers. Course Careers is a tech boot camp that you can do entirely from home. It's entirely virtual and it's self-paced. So that means you can knock it out in as early as 2 weeks or even take a few months if you need to. Now, the really cool thing about Course Careers is that they're actually partnered with multiple tech companies that are hiring their students right after finishing the program. Great thing about Course Careers is that with those partnerships, they're able to guarantee you jobs with some of their partner companies. Now, beyond that alone, the other cool thing we want to tell you about them is that Course Careers is actually only $500. That's it, nothing more, nothing less. But since we partner with Course Careers, they're offering our audience a discount of $50 off that already low price. So make sure you use our discount link that we have below, so that way you can take advantage of that $50 off that already low price. Do Course Careers at your own pace and let us know what job you end up getting from it.
Would you say, just real quick, would you say that, so obviously, so you said you had an extensive sales background.
Yeah.
Would you say that tech sales, that there are some unique differences to tech or software sales than what's different from like traditional sales? Like, are there some differences?
I would say the philosophy from because I did like consulting. So the type of selling that I did wasn't like, like I did B2B. So it's a little bit different, right?
Yeah,
if you guys want to make money, anything you want to to do, if you want to make money, you always want to do business to business sales, right? I've gotten contracts with different businesses and different industries like roadside assistance, whatever, because these businesses have a budget that they get, and if they don't spend it, they lose it. So if you have a small business, if you have a staffing agency, if you have, you're trying to start a recruiting agency, if there's a way that you can go after the big businesses, a lot of times their goal, especially when you're doing enterprise sales, is they want to save money and cut costs. So if you can figure out a solution that can provide that, you can actually make a lot of money doing that. And that's one of the things I learned in sales, and that's also a similar principle that happens with enterprise selling too as well, especially here at sales. So I would say from that aspect.
Hey, y'all, put your questions in the question box. There's two reasons why you need to put your questions in the question box. Reason number one, don't put it in the comment section. Put in the question box. Reason number one you need to put it in the question box is because we're not going to be able to answer it if it's in the comments. We'll be able to answer it if it's in the question box. Reason number two you want to put it in the question box and not in the comments is because if you're putting it in the comments, if somebody answers, it'll be a random person that's here in the comments that might be steering you in the wrong direction. That happens all the time. Please stop posting your questions in the comment section. Put it in the question box, the designated area, so we can answer your questions. But my bad, bro. Go ahead. I'm not going to be saying that. Please, y'all, if y'all see people posting questions in the comment sections, please let them know to direct them questions in the question box. But I'm not going to keep saying that. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, man. So, this is a lot of stuff that I learned even outside trial and error. But one characteristic that you want to have is persistency and the willingness to grow, because, even just background, I had transferable skills. Anything, I wasn't from Atlanta. I just relocated from, to Atlanta, and I said, listen, I wanted to do this type of photography, and I was able to do it, and I figured out a way. So it was just taking those same skill sets and figuring out what I was really good at, and applying those to industry where I can make a lot more money in a better vehicle. And that's overall what you want to be in. You want to find whether you want to do tech or you want to stay in tech or you want to just use it as a good vehicle to do the things you want to do. I used to have the mindset, because some of these, not to throw shade, but sometimes when you go to a lot of these entrepreneur conventions, or you read like certain books, they make it seem like having a job is so bad and you're a slave, whatever. But the reality is it can be such an amazing tool if you're in the right vehicle in the right industry to propel your success, right? So I got a new mentor, number one, that helped me just help me like rethink about different things and overall grow.
So bro, I want to ask you, so you did Course Careers.
Yeah, I did Course Careers.
What was the next boot camp that you did?
So I did Course Careers. That was number one, right?
Yeah.
Then I actually went on LinkedIn. I invested in myself, and I went on LinkedIn Learning, because if you go on LinkedIn, they have where you can, do some other, learning, enterprise selling, solution selling. And then I had to revamp my resume a couple times. Yeah. Once I actually got the job with Kaseya, right, I did careers. And then now I'm currently enrolled into, which I wish they would have had then, because this is what I was really looking for. But there's another boot camp called Levels by the same people who created Course Careers, that's specifically for people that's in account management and looking to do enterprise selling. So
I know Course Careers is partnered with them. Yeah, that's a dope thing. All right, so you did Course Careers, you did LinkedIn Learning, you did careers. I'm sorry, I want to make sure, because we are a little short on time, so I want to make sure we're like, I'm seeing a lot of questions pop up in here, and I'm like, dang, we got a lot of questions. Yeah. So you did those three. You did Course Careers to learn the differences between tech sales and your background. You did LinkedIn Learning with, again, people on LinkedIn Learning. Sinead just said in the comments, people be sleeping on good LinkedIn. I always preach LinkedIn to everybody. People think we be capping. You did LinkedIn Learning, got some more education in there. Then you did careers. I'm assuming you did the sales engineering program with careers, right?
So the funny thing is, when I actually got the job, I met a good friend who took the boot camp, who was referred by you. He gave me a discount, and I just signed up through him through the careers, because that was my hometown plan in the first place. Like, I actually relocated to Florida to, get a job and do the boot camp, and, end up, they all worked out. I would say this. Huh?
What course did you do?
So I did the sales engineering one. So, so what happened, I would say this though, with the Course Careers, right? So when I was living in Atlanta, I took the Course Careers boot camp, right? And then I started doing a little bit. You exposed me to sales engineering. So what I did is I actually applied at the time to the solution specialist role here at Kaseya. And what they did at the time is they, at least when I had the conversation, I'm just saying this is my experience. I don't know if anything changed. But when I applied for the role, I was in Atlanta. I spoke with the recruiter, and based off my previous sales experience, my confidence, and my relatability, they wanted to start me off with a 95K base, 25K sign-on bonus that you get after 2 years. What is it? The OTE was around 210 to 230. That's what the guy said that the guys were making, and they were willing to pay me $4,000 to my company.
This is at Kaseya?
Yeah. So that was at the time. This was like December of last year, right? So that was the whole entire package for me to move out to like Miami and stuff. But the thing I would say though is they still do have a rigorous process. You ever taken the cognitive test?
Yeah, I've taken some, yeah.
Yeah, so they make you do that. And the thing is, when I took it, I failed. So the guy called me back. He's like, yo, the reason I didn't move you forward is because, you didn't pass the cognitive test. So once that happened, man, I took that test so many times, man. So what I did is a strategy, right? I'm gonna give you guys some game. So even though I didn't pass that test, I saw that they had account managers, senior account managers roles, and I asked if that's a lower barrier to entry. Because the company is growing, anytime you apply for a company, you want to make sure it has a strong growth, right? I had other offers that, were paying a little bit more, but because they didn't have the role that I was looking for and I didn't see long-term growth, I stuck with this opportunity. And I said, okay, well, in about like 3 to 6 months, if I can prove myself and my sales skills, I can just move into that organization, learn the solutions that they're setting myself to be in an org that the solutions are really making the money, which is cybersecurity. We have a cybersecurity solution we sell, and that's what I want to pivot into. So that's the plan. And long story short, that's what I made happen.
All right, cool. So you said that your OTE starting out, they put you at a little over 200K for your OTE?
That was going to be for the solution specialist role. I didn't get that role because I didn't have that test.
Okay, totally cool. So but you ended up landing the account executive role, correct?
Account manager.
Okay, account
manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a tech sales role.
Yes, tech sales role.
I'm asking questions that I obviously know the answer to. I'm asking them really to keep everybody else like on track and to make sure everybody's like guided.
Yeah.
RC,
everything's tech sales.
And then and I'm sorry. So we have about 10 minutes to get to these to be able to answer these questions. So I want to. That's why I'm kind of like moving through pretty quickly. We might need to do a part 2 of this so we can answer some more of the questions for everybody. So let me know, bro, if you have the availability. Anyway, so shoot, we might be able to do it. I'll actually be back in Miami. I'll be back in Miami this week, and so we might be able to do part 2 then. So, and everybody, anything that you're missing, I will make sure, like anything you're missing, I'll put like some of the Spark notes and stuff in my story afterwards, so y'all can see it. So you're at Kaseya. Fast forward, we bump into each other. We see each other at a yacht event in Miami. Literally just last weekend, we bumped into each other in Miami at a yacht event. You pulled up, was like, hey, bro, boom, boom, boom. I did the boot camps and stuff that you recommend and stuff that you talk about. I'm at Kaseya. My company's hiring like crazy. At first, you said it was hiring a lot. I was kind of like, everybody be telling me their company hiring, but it'd be for like three roles or like 3 or 5 people. But you said your company's hiring for how many roles exactly?
So right now they actually have a partnership with Miami to bring in 2,300 roles by 2024. If you go on LinkedIn right now, there's about 230 openings right now, and that's just what people are posting. The roles are, at least in Miami, because it's the headquarters, solution specialist, which is technically a sales engineer, but you're on the pre-sale side. Account executive, which is you're the front end, but you work with the sales engineer. So it's like a similar thing, right? You got the account executive, with the sales engineer.
And if any of y'all, just really quickly, if any of you all are like, what does a solutions engineer do? What does an account executive do? What does this person do? I have FAQs in my bio. You can click the link in my bio, and my FAQs explain a breakdown of each of those roles. So that way, we can just kind of talk through this. So are these roles work from home opportunities? Now I'm kind of reading off some of the questions people pre-submitted.
Looking for a job in tech can be tricky, but what if there's a way to automate the entire process? That's where Octoplaai.ai comes in. See, this software does all the work it takes for you to get hired, from researching companies to scheduling interviews, and all you have to do is just show up. Octoplaai.ai is the first application of its kind that will find jobs that you're top applicant for, apply to roles, reformat your resume, and manages interviews all while you sleep. So if you're tired of the tedious job search, try Octoplaai.ai today and let technology work for you.
Unfortunately, no, all of them are in the office, and the reason why is because, number one, we're in a really nice office. Number two, it's more customer-centric. A lot of our customers are global and also all over the place. So one of the things we like to do is invite our customers here, and then we put them on the screens. We give them experience. You can actually have the executives and the executives and the CEO meet with the people, and they'll take them to the Casella Center down in Miami and just give the whole entire experience. So we want to give the experience culture-wise for the customer and also the employees here too as well. So
Hey,
it
bro,
is
look,
not.
I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. Folks out here ain't getting no 90,000 plus salary right now, so you don't have to sell it at all.
Oh.
Look, y'all, it's in Miami. It's in Brickell, Miami, right?
Yeah, Brickell.
Brickell in Miami is where I live. It's the most fire place I've ever been to and seen.
Yeah.
Look, if some of y'all can't move, that's totally cool. If you can't move, totally cool. If you can't relocate, but I'm not about to have him sit here and sell it to you. Like, it's a six-figure salary in tech. You're breaking into tech. It's a great company. That's all we got to say. If it's not for you, it's not for you. You know. All right, cool. So, oh damn, I'm blowing this up too much. All right, so next question. All right, so someone asked, do you know? If you don't know the answer, just say I don't know, and we'll figure it out. Is it possible for undocumented people, undocumented citizens, to get these types of jobs? I thought the answer was no, but do you know the answer?
I'm gonna say I don't know, and the only reason why I say that is because we do hire globally too as well. So I don't know the answer, but we do have, like, it just depends on where you look at it. If you go on the website and you see the openings that are hiring, Kaseya.com, you use me as a reference too, so that way I know the recruiters. They'll reach out. They say, "Hey, yo, did you refer this person?" Okay, well, reach out to them because you're an employee of the company. Just see if you're, depending on what country you are, see where they're hiring at, and see if it's in your destination.
Okay, bet. And okay, super cool. All right, next question is, oh yeah, so I saw someone ask this, and again, y'all, we're not answering any questions in the comments. So y'all can keep posting questions in the comments. They're not gonna get answered. I'm not gonna be nice no more because I don't say it so many times. But next question. So, all right, that's another question. All right, let me get back to this. All right, so next question. And I'm only gonna answer. I see people sent questions in earlier that are like not specific to this interview. For the sake of time, I'm only gonna ask them questions or ask questions that are relatable to this interview. Someone asked if it's remote. No, it's not remote. But you said a statement earlier. You said that you all hire globally. Kaseya hires globally. So how does that? So does that mean? So somebody living out of the country, if they have like some type of,
they have offices in those countries.
Okay. Okay. So basically, it has to be in office, but in office doesn't automatically mean Miami.
Exactly.
Wonderful. All right. Cool. So look up the company. Y'all, again, if you have some type of tech sales knowledge, experience, whether you've done a boot camp or you got a lot of training, something you can show or present to the company, make sure that you look up the other office locations, and it'll be an office near you potentially if you're able to get a job there. Next question. People were just sending in a lot of comments too. All right, so next question. All right, so what all roles are they hiring for? So I know you mentioned solutions engineering, you mentioned tech sales. I mentioned earlier that I thought because of the nature of the company being a cybersecurity company, are they hiring en masse for cybersecurity roles as well, or is it just solutions engineering and tech sales or account executive?
So if you go on the website, they actually are hiring some in Orlando. If you're like an engineer or help desk or something like that, all the tech stuff, all the tech roles are in Orlando, in the Orlando headquarters. If you want to do like sales, maybe customer success, sales enablement, where you're teaching people about the sales process, solution specialists, the main headquarters is here in Miami. Now, they do have other locations too. You just have to go on the website and check. But most of the roles that are hiring are in Orlando and also Miami.
Okay, bet. All right, next question. All right, so simply put, what would be the best process for somebody to apply to Kaseya?
Well, number one, go on the website. Use me as a referral. You can follow me on LinkedIn. You can follow me on Instagram. Shoot me a message. I'll make sure, like, this is my thing too. Number one, take a boot camp, because I'm going to give you guys a key word that they look for, BANT. That's a code word that they use in Course Careers. We use the same philosophy, right? So if you go in there and you have a basic understanding of what BANT is, that's going to get your foot in the door. And yes, they're doing a lot of hiring, but the issue that I see is they're like getting people who don't have a tech background or haven't even taken a tech. That's the issue. So they have a promise with Miami to bring in a certain amount of roles here, but what I've been hearing is it's very difficult because they still want to hire people that got grit and have some type of knowledge.
Yes.
And they're going to the point where they're like, yo, go to Home Depot, and recruiters at the Home Depot, hey, we're hiring, and they bring them to the manager, and it's like, where you bringing this in? So
Yeah, exactly,
what I see, if you take in like a Course Careers boot camp, right? If you take in levels, if you take in sales engineer, those type of roles that Cyrus talks about, I would suggest reach out to me on LinkedIn, reach out to me on Instagram. It's going to be posted in the chat. I'll get you connected over to the recruiter, or you can, apply if you're not in the state but you're looking to relocate. Use me. Recruiter's going to reach out to me because we also have a process where we keep track. And if you're really good at sales and you have a background, I can get you connected with my VP that's hiring. If not, we do have a hiring palooza that's invite only by employees that send a referral. So if you come in there and you say, hey, Jack Chapman invited me, they do it every 2 weeks where they'll sit down with you and see what roles you're applying for and get you connected to somebody. And I'll be there too as well. And plus,
so listen,
I got
I
a
want
really
to
good
reiterate what you
reputation too,
said.
so yeah.
He suggested making sure that you do a tech boot camp. I talk about this all the time because even though his company is doing mass hiring, I think you said 2,300 people. 2,300 people is a lot of people.
2,300 positions.
But if you're a person that's applying and understand you're competing, because more than 2,300 people are going to apply for this company. It's probably going to be something like 20,000, 10,000, something over time. You want to make sure it's still you competing. It's not you just trying to get a role. It's still you competing against other people. If you don't have like deeply high level transferable skills or boot camp experience, you're not going to be one of the top candidates to be able to get the job. So again, y'all, they're hiring right now in 2024, correct? Like now in between 2024?
Yeah, all the way to 2024. So they're hiring. And like I said,
Yeah.
I was sick for about a week and a half. Insurance is really great. They paid for everything. I came back, 10 people was at my desk, and one of them took my damn mouse. I'm like, yo, what's going on? So, and this is the thing I would say that the company is looking for. So anybody who wants to be leader, who want to get equity, I wanted to talk a little bit briefly about the money, because that's really what we're about. So if you come in, so the thing is, I would say this that I found out because I talked to the recruiter. The sales, based off what he was telling me, the solution specialist roles, those are a lot more higher paying roles. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's equity associated with it, but I do know that for account managers and leaders, if you want to be a leader, you want to run a team, you want to be on the account manager, they're given a lot of equity in those roles. So the equity based off, and this is just based off what I was told by a few managers that I connected with. The equity is so basically what Kaseya does is they buy different companies, and you can actually sell your equity back to the company. Kaseya is technically the Microsoft of MSPs, right? So basically that equity in 4 years, you can actually cash out or you can sell it back to the company. For account managers, right, you stay in the role for 4 years, that equity is equivalent up to $250K per year, right? So not only are you getting a $25K sign-on bonus, you're going to get your OTE plus the commissions you're making. You're growing with a company where there's fast growth and they're looking to promote, managers or leaders. So you could pivot to any organization as long as you hit your numbers. Now, in order to get that equity, you got to hit your quota, right? So once you hit your quota, they give you the equity, but it's equivalent up to $250K per year. 4 years is going to be up to $1 million, right? For managers, if you want to go on leadership, in 4 years is going to be $5 million. For directors and above, is up to $15 million. So the thing is like they already made a whole bunch of millionaires just with the equity. There's one guy named Trevor Peters. That's who I wanted to introduce you to. He became a millionaire before the age of 30. He works right in my office over here.
I'm telling
right?
y'all can become millionaires working 9 to 5s in tech. Like he's telling y'all right here. Like, I've brought people on the podcast that are millionaires from working in tech, but understand this opportunity is available for everybody, you know, and again, you can leverage that money, use it for whatever you want to do. Also, he can tell you, working in tech sales, sales engineering, these are fields where you learn a lot about business and businesses in general that you can leverage that knowledge to be beneficial for you in the future.
Yeah, man. So, you know, definitely there's a lot of, and like I said, they're trying to promote more leaders that can run teams of people because they're growing. Like, you know, and what they do is, so kind of to give you a little gist of what Kaseya does, we work, you guys know about networking and, you know, cybersecurity stuff, right?
Let me say real quick, I do have to wrap at 9:50.
Hey, y'all, we have some incredible news that I'm super excited about to finally announce our private tech community. Yes, you heard that right. A private tech community exclusively for you all who want more than just the podcast. You want more than just the FAQs. You want to talk with tech recruiters. You want to talk with hiring managers. You want to talk with coaches. You want to talk with people that can help with editing and rewriting your resume. Maybe you're somebody where you just want to be a part of a community where we're talking about updates of what's happening in the software industry. Y'all, this community that we've launched is also going to involve a Discord where we're going to be talking about updates in tech. We're going to be talking about companies that are hiring. We're going to be talking about upcoming tech events. So that way you don't have to miss any of the gems that I know, but not even just what I know, but the gems that friends of mine that are also in the tech industry know as well. So if you want to be a part of that community, go ahead and sign up so that way you can join us. We have a few different tiers. Ultimately, it's all tuned in for you. Oh, and last thing, also within this community, we're going to be streaming all of our interviews with our podcast guests. So instead of you having to wait months to watch the videos later on, you'll actually be able to watch the interviews in real time and ask your live questions to those guests. So make sure you join our tech community.
Oh yeah, no, what I would just, you got the time or what time you got to be out? 9:50, you said?
I want to let you finish what you're about to say, but I do have to wrap now. Y'all, we're going to do a follow-up. I've screenshotted all the questions that were sent in the question box. If your question's been in the comment sections, I ain't even looked at them. But all the questions in the question box, I screenshotted them. And we're going to do a follow-up. I'm going to see his availability. I fly back into Miami tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to see his availability tomorrow or Wednesday. We're going to do a follow-up, and it's just going to be questions where we're going to get to all the questions. Y'all sent in over 50 questions. Go ahead, bro. Please finish what you're saying, Jack.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I'll make the time, man. So if we want to like cut this, you know, and just like compare it a little bit later, you know, I definitely will make the time for this because it's definitely valuable. I would just say like, listen, you know, if you guys got any questions, you know, you're in the South Florida area, reach out to me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and you know, if you guys are serious, you got grit, you want to at least get with a company that's growing, I can definitely do what I can to at least get you guys the interview, but it's up to you guys to sell yourself on that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's up to you to sell yourself. And look, y'all, look, this is wonderful. For those of you that have already done course careers or careers and you're not in a job yet, this is wonderful for you. Those of you that do not have a job or you haven't done a boot camp yet, again, he recommended doing a boot camp. They're hiring between now and also 2024 as well. So don't feel like you would miss out on anything if you do a boot camp right now. I mean, he did course careers, he did careers. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, do a follow-up. But again, if you want to do solutions engineering, which is what his company is hiring for, you know, of course, the recommendation is careerist. If you want to do tech sales or be an account executive or account manager, recommendation, of course, would be course careers. Both boot camps are linked in my bio with discounts to the boot camps as well. Jack, thank you so much, bro. Let's definitely do a follow-up to this. They sent in a lot of more questions I've ever seen, but I mean, it makes sense. This is a huge opportunity. I'm very excited about this. Definitely excited about talking to you more about it, as well as other people at your company, bro. Thank you so much, Jack.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it.
All right, family. All right, bye, y'all.